All right, here we are, season 2 of Midweek Pump. Woo!
So excited that we get to be with guests again. It's so amazing. I love having conversations about personal development.
Of
so
course.
It's going to be an exciting one.
Sharing the juice with the world.
Yes.
Who are we speaking with today? Why don't you tell us?
So today we're speaking with the multi-talented, amazing artist, Possibilitarian. He is humanitarian. He is a wordsmith. He is a coach. Like so many, like the list goes on. And this man wears many hats.
Many hats. You'll know what we mean.
Such a creative artist, Mr. Marcos Mendosa.
Woohoo, beautiful human. Coming
Yeah,
up.
beautiful human. And you gotta hear him and his authentic stories, so listen in. Well, I'm so excited that we get to have Mr. Marcos Mendosa with us today.
Yeah.
Speaking on the Midweek Pump. Thank you so much, my dear friend. You're such a talented person, and I'm so excited that we get to have you in this conversation with us, with Laura and I.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. I love the name, love the concept, love the energy. I was like, how am I gonna match that?
Oh, no.
It gave me like permission to show up in a way that I like showing up. So your energy, the sign,
Right? Isn't it fabulous?
what I've seen you guys already do, I was like,
There's
I get to be a part
nothing
of
that you'll
that.
find out there like this.
I love hearing that. Isn't that so nice?
Yeah, I was really excited. I was like, I get to be a part of that. Let's do it.
Amazing.
Well, I
amazing.
know we also were like honored and excited to have you speak because we've heard you speak in a number of areas before, and we love how you come across to an audience as well. It's just like also your energy and your vibe is something that we're so aligned with.
Thank you. I need to speak more. Like
Yes.
I'm ready.
Totally.
Yes.
Like I keep getting reminded of this. And
Yeah.
even though I've lived like a lifetime of acknowledgement about expression, I'm like now just getting present to how much I just need to talk more. I need to speak more.
Yeah.
I need to I don't need to write more because I write a lot.
Yeah.
But I need to take what I wrote and actually say it because I'm hoarding so much, especially the past like year and a half. I've just been
Really?
kind of holding on.
So speak more about that. What has you want to speak more? Like, what does that provide for you?
So at the forefront is the desire for validation. So when I hear this, it's uplifting to me. It fills my cup. It gives me purpose. It reminds me of what I'm worthy of, right? Which is empowerment, encouragement, inspiration, contribution. That stuff is validation for me, so I love hearing it, right? Then there's also, it's a slight ego boost. It's like, I'm dope, which is great because it's healthy for me to be in my self-awareness that I have purpose, I have worth, which when people ask, what's your life's purpose? It's like to be fully expressed for the purpose of empowering others.
I love it.
It's complete, right? But if I'm being fully expressed and not empowering others, and I'm also not empowering myself through that expression, I end up catching myself feeling depleted, and then self-doubt kicks in, limiting beliefs kicks in, scarcity kicks in. So it's a dance between ensuring that it's a full package of self-expression for the purpose of empowering others, and then the empowerment of others through acknowledgement gives me fulfillment.
Amazing.
So cool. I love that.
Now that's quite a handful of like depth, to understand about yourself. Did you always know this about yourself, that your purpose was to, express it and be an empowering speaker?
No.
So how did this kind of unfold in your life? Where did you really, or when was it that you discovered this in your journey of life?
It was, so I've been rapping and writing since I was 16. So I've always been writing and performing. I've always been expressed, but it was more so in a private container intended to just have myself hear my thoughts out loud. And then shows and performances started happening, and I started realizing that there wasn't the impact. But I'm a super introverted person.
Really.
Except if you give me a microphone, a stage, or put a camera on, then I'm an extroverted.
That's really interesting though, huh? Like that juxtaposition of like you're introverted, but then a stage lights you up.
Exactly.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I think I can resonate with Marcos a little bit.
Yeah?
And Laura knows
I have to
this.
pause you because you say this every time. I'm your friend and I love you.
Really?
Okay?
What do I say? What am I about to say?
Whenever you use the word resonate, you call it resignate. For as long as I've known you. I've even said this to you before. I was like, it's not resignate. I'm not resignating anything.
You might be.
I invite whoever's watching this to Google the word resignate and see if it exists.
Oh my God, I love you.
all truth, all transparency. If you know any Italian like child growing up, it's like saying the word sandwich. We would say it sandwich.
Sandwich.
Right? So it's in that same context. We don't pronounce these words properly.
Because, like, really? We grew up with all these weird dialects and things coming at us.
Me too.
I grew up in a household with 2 different dialects, and it's like, I understand one side.
We're all confused, man.
It just doesn't resonate. I get it.
No, it doesn't resonate.
Right.
I'm going to keep using it. It's going to stay in my vocabulary.
How do your parents say Canadian Tire?
Like, well, my mother says it very English. She's here much longer.
I don't
my
know.
father, he'll say it very much in his, like,
How
thick
does he say
Sicilian accent.
How
Like,
I think it's like Canadian tire.
no, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
My parents are Canadian Tire.
That's some more Spanish slang there.
Vamos a Canadian Tire. Best Buy.
That's funny.
It's hilarious.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Well,
So what were you going to say?
You
What
were
resonated
saying,
with you?
it resonates, the whole like stage thing. You were
yes.
saying.
Yeah. So, I think very much, those who can spend time alone, who understand their alone time actually provides a lot. They find their outlets then in those very few moments of being expressed publicly, right? That is the outlet for
so good.
so much time that we do spend alone because it's, the creative part of us. So I do understand that about you.
You just reminded me of a breakthrough that I've been having a lot recently, which is if I speak out loud. So I suffer from, and I say suffer intentionally, I suffer from overthinking, paranoia, self-doubt, self-sabotage,
Anyone else?
anxiety. Like I suffer from it.
Sure.
And then when I speak out loud, when I speak my experience or when I speak outside of that experience, I feel suddenly instantly healed. I'm not giving energy to that anymore.
Yeah.
So another reason to answer your questions around why or where this comes from, I think it comes from a desire to heal, to live a healed life.
So good.
So self-expression is healing.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Self-expression and just the communication through it does, again, back to your point, it validates who you are and it validates the existence of like what we think into ourselves, right? So it's the validation of like human existence.
I love that because it's an ongoing, active, present reminder of my worth, right? I'll give you an example. Last night I was with my boys, hanging out for the last times before the move, one last little jam with all my music buddies, and I confessed all these fears that I have about this move and about the state of the world. And then after I expressed, like going into the container, I was so scared. I was so afraid. I was making up so much. And then I said it, and I was driving home, and I'm like, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Now, right? And it's like
the
I don't do that.
bubble just bursted.
I'm having another breakthrough right now. This is going to happen a lot. I'm hearing myself speak, so I'm like, this works. I'm connecting the dots. I'm connecting the
cool.
thoughts. It's amazing, right? So
Communicate, people. Communicate.
Yeah. That's what I was just going to say. Like, I'm afraid to talk to the public because I'm afraid that my brand's reputation is determined by the ethics of what I promote.
I get that.
But then I have to balance the ethics of what I promote with the worth of what I'm valued at, with the trust that I have of people, with the vulnerability. And I'm like, I haven't cracked that code yet. Even though people are like, I need you to be more expressed. I want to know the real you. I'm like, no, you don't. The real me is fucked. Like, I'm a mess.
We love that.
Right?
Hey, you know what? It's great that you can acknowledge that, and it's like this work in progress on bringing out like that authentic you that's not actually a mess, that hasn't been like affected by things of the past, and that you're like constantly working on. That's what I hear, right? And
And I invite you to be that authentic mess, because there's probably many people who are that authentic mess, and we've been raised in such a society to believe like that's not normal.
Right.
Yeah, like sharing the story is important for sure. Yeah.
I'll take it on, and I've been taking it on.
Yeah.
It's just
That's awesome.
there is this friction there that's like,
Yeah.
It's like who's gonna invest into working with me when they see me living as such an active mess, right? It's almost like you have to put on this persona and hide behind a symbol or a brand, right? And it's conflicted quite a bit, which is why I've been silenced. This whole scandemic or pandemic, whatever you want to call it, I was like, there's people being affected by this. If I share how I really feel about this, my personal life and my business is going to take a hit. So I've been dancing between the consideration
Yeah.
of respecting other people's experiences
Yeah.
while also honoring that I can't keep holding this in. I can only journal for so long, right? So it's been a dance.
Yeah,
And-
and I think that's to be respected for
For sure.
everybody out there. Like, we all are really dancing with this, and it's nobody's gonna get it right or wrong. And we should really appreciate anybody who's trying to make their own livelihood. That
Yeah.
they might fuck up right now because life looks messy.
Right.
Life does look messy for
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, circling back to you talking to your boys about the move and like what you're experiencing right now in the world. Like, I know there's kind of a connection there. I just happen to know the background, but would you share that?
Well, yeah,
with us?
share with us. You got something big going on this week.
Yeah, so in 5 days we're moving to Costa Rica. The whole family, my side of the family, my fiance's side of the family.
What was the decision on this,
What was the decision?
or like how did this decision?
Yeah, why did you make the decision?
Okay. Well,
Share.
what came out last night in my men's container was, I personally have chosen to acknowledge that I can't handle living here.
Yeah.
I can't handle what I experience as the betrayal, as the deception, as the deceit, as in the manipulation, as in the lies, as in the fear, as in the attack, as in all of it. As a sensitive, empathetic, pretty intelligent and self-aware, consciously, spiritually, human, I'm like, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
So I had to exit I'm grateful that it happened, because I realized I'm not Canadian or American or European or Argentinian. I am spiritual. I'm a being of some form of energetic frequency that is
Oh my God, I
showing
love
up
this.
in this human body to live out the experiences that I'm remembering from my constant deja vus that show up in my life every day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's what I am. But in the realization of, like, do I have to conform to this way of living, this way of being? Fortunately, business is crushing it, relationships are good, parents are healthy, life is good, options are available. I've molded my life so that I can exit the matrix. And I decided to. So that we can pursue what we want to pursue as a family, is adventure, wealth, health, and play, right? And connection through healing, because the vortex of Costa Rica is a very feminine energy.
Yeah.
Where you cannot resist it. If you bring resistance to that land, the best way to put it is like, it's a washing machine. And you know what happens when you leave money in your pockets in your washing machine, and
Disintegrates.
the papers, everything just gets stuck in the
Yeah.
creases, and you're
It
left
just
pulling things out.
Pulls it out.
And you're like, yo, this is hard, right? So the decision to move was because I just feel like I can't participate in this social experiment anymore.
I actually love the like team country that Costa Rica is. Like, I've been there once, and I feel like everyone's on the same vibe there. It's like an actual team country.
Yeah, I love how you
It's
just
united. Yeah.
categorize that as a team,
Yeah.
because I've been to Costa Rica as well. Went there as well recently, and it is very much everybody works in community, and that's what it is. That's what it is, right? Community that people work together to support each other, benefit each other, and raise life in the most natural way it can so far.
Yeah, I put it as, it's a third world country with first world values.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so
Right?
good.
So it is what it is, but that's the reality. It is a third world country.
Yeah.
There is development, right? So we have to humble ourselves to the adaptation of what you can imagine. Like this week, like if I go home right now, technically I don't have a home. Like, we're all sleeping on the floor. Everything's gone. It's a mess, right? Everything's categorized in three things: storage, garbage, donation, right? And then our two little luggages that we're all taking. And then that's our lives summed up in these luggages. So we're literally going there from a clean slate, sold everything technically, and now, like, what do we do, right? Now we find ourselves. So that's really what's coming.
That's beautiful.
I love it.
That takes a lot of courage, to have you, your extended family, your fiance, your future family, to completely move countries where you guys have already started somewhere.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of courage.
And also
Thank
what I'm
you.
hearing is like how amazing that you actually were able to have those conversations and have everyone be on board.
Yeah.
That's so
it happened
cool.
very organically.
Yeah.
Because they witnessed our lifestyle. We've been going back and forth for 4 years, so they were just like, wow, like, you guys are living.
Living, yeah.
And we escaped the pandemic, quote unquote. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that had them enrolled right away.
Yeah, because like our parents are in their 60s are like, what am I going to do? Keep chasing clients, keep the same job, go through another dark winter, you know, keep having to suffer in the cold. Like, fuck it. They were like, sell everything. Let's go chase adventure, right? And it's like, are we trying to become millionaires? No, we're just trying to live like the richness of life.
Yeah.
And they feel they can do that through play. You know, that's my parents' is just like first priority forever has always been play. Right?
I want to meet your
I
parents.
know.
Oh, my
that's
parents
so
are
fun.
dope. Yeah, play. It's just play, 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 play. Everything's play. Adventure, play. And then Jessica's mom is like wellness, meditation, spirituality,
I love it.
and being a caregiver. So to her 3 dogs and Jessica, and like it was just like like fun fact, our parents were living together for the first 3 years of our relationship.
Wow.
So we all lived in the same house. So it was crazy. It was me. I think it was like 13 of us. It was me, Jessica, my mom, my dad, Jessica's
nuts.
mom, my sister,
How many washrooms were
my
in this house?
brother-in-law.
Yeah,
five washrooms.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of washrooms. That's great.
Yeah, you need that for 13 people.
For sure.
So it's 8 humans and 4 dogs
Holy.
for 3 years. Yeah.
That's so cool.
They've
That's a
already
fun house.
they became friends really
Yeah,
close.
yeah, that's
So the whole
really
idea of
awesome.
like, let's do this, it was like, okay, let's get a compound, we'll build 3 houses on it, and let's all just like, and if Jessica and I have a child, like they get to play grandparents.
Yeah.
Right? So it was
What an
like
amazing
the vision was set. It was
Creation,
like,
man.
yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
amazing.
So inspired right now.
I'm so excited to see how life is going to unfold in Costa Rica for you guys.
Yeah, I don't see it yet. I'm very just like, I'm not in denial of it. I'm just in like, I just have other things going on.
you're in the moment.
You're being with what's going on
Yeah.
right now.
I'm being in it,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
much in
Yeah.
it. Like,
Super.
I find myself uncontrollably sweating every day. I'm like, and tears, random tears. I'll just be driving and then a tear. And I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, what's happening?
You just cry.
I just cry. And I'm like,
But you know what? Sometimes crying's not actually sad. You're just like
I'm
in
nostalgic.
an emotion.
I'm
Yeah,
in it.
you're just like
Yeah.
And
This
it's
is a lot.
It's a purging, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
tearing is actually very healthy for us. We need to purge whatever's there.
Yeah.
It really is helpful.
I teared yesterday when I sold my car.
Oh, that
that
drive.
would make me bawl my
I think
eyes
that
out.
would make anybody bawl. You've had that car for maybe just a year.
It's like my
less.
dream car too.
It's my dream car.
It's a
I was
dream.
like, yo, like, the fuck? Like, I was driving it and I was
So
like,
Marcos bought a Tesla.
Tesla.
tear. It was, yeah,
This
so
is a badass Tesla.
Yeah, so
it's
nice.
so badass. But yeah, what else you got?
I want to know. So you and Jessica have started Coachable.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh, yeah.
been over a year though. But I mean, you guys transitioned the name. I know.
It's actually been like 3 years.
3 years, yeah. So what had you guys start Coachable? And please, share us like what's the purpose or behind Coachable?
So Coachable's actually evolved and been dissolved.
Okay.
So moving into 2021,
Cool.
we're almost like Jessica's pursuing her things, I'm pursuing my things.
Okay.
And Coachable is remaining as the team. So the team is actually taking control of Coachable.
Okay.
I'm not playing CEO, she's not playing operations manager. We're giving Coachable almost like a how do you say it? It's a renovation really, because
Okay.
we realize like the activity that it takes to run an agency like that in Costa Rica doesn't work.
Okay.
And we experienced it all of last year.
Yeah.
where it
What
was
would
like,
be some of like the missings or limitations for that?
well, the need to be on the computer, the back-to-back calls, the
Right.
constant accountability. The model we had was very customer first, client first, on-call accountability.
Okay.
It was very, let's make ourselves available for these clients that are in an experience of building a business where there is no days off, right? So we made ourselves very much available. And then having a dozen or more clients, always knowing that you're available and inviting them to know that you're available requires us to be very much involved in what their needs are. So considering there's 7 departments, everybody's on call while also pursuing a timeline that guides them through a 3 to 6 month process, which is great. It's all very organized, it's beautiful. But it comes at a cost to our personal lives.
Yeah.
Because we go to sleep with our clients.
You go to sleep with your clients and you wake up with your clients. That's what you're saying.
That's the current model.
Yeah.
So we just
Amazing.
realized,
I'll buy in.
yeah. It was great.
I already have.
It was, it worked for a while.
I've worked with it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But now we were just like, okay, Coachable Coachable is a program development agency. So coaches, healers, trainers, teachers, consultants that have a wealth of knowledge come to us and ask us to build their business model.
Okay.
We build the business model with the product model, including the brand, and then train them on the sales, the copy, and the delivery of how to execute the actual service model itself. So it's gone through all these different experiences because it being 7 departments, it's like, okay, which is the department that is the strongest? Which is the department that people come to us the most for?
Yeah.
And what I realized was it's the sales department.
Sure.
When we're sharing our client wins, we're not sharing, ooh, look at my branding. We're not sharing that. We're sharing, yo, I just made a $30,000 sale, right? So I realized that I need to evolve Coachable into a sales agency that teaches entrepreneurs, not just coaches, teachers, healers, and consultants, teaches entrepreneurs how to communicate their worth.
Yeah.
So that's what it's become.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's like, you don't get that in school.
Hell no.
You don't
Absolutely
get
not.
sales training in school, and like all
And
of
you
us
don't get
being
that in
sales.
business school
Yeah,
at all,
no, you
right?
don't. You don't get it
as much
anywhere.
as like the context is business, but you're not like you don't get that.
Yeah, no,
Schulich.
it's so important. It is.
I actually just got hired by a company, shout out Elevated Mindset, who took me on and said, we want you to be one of our trainers.
Yeah.
And we want you to teach sales to our corporate clients. And their clients are Spotify and all these companies, right? It's TD. And I'm like, I don't know if they're ready for my sales approach, right?
Oh, damn! It's so
It was like-
forward thinking.
Yes, it's very, and I pitched it to them and they're like, we love it.
Sick.
So like it's self-awareness,
That's so cool.
self-worth, and self-expression for the purpose of sales, right?
Yeah, this is awesome.
So that's what I'm working on now going into 2021 is Coachable's becoming a sales training agency, right?
Cool.
Where we still offer the branding, the copywriting, the product of all that. But the focus is let's ensure that you're ready to start making sales because you'd be surprised. Like we don't post, we don't campaign, we don't do shit. Everything we do with our clients, we don't do for ourselves. So how do we have this super successful company?
Yeah,
2 things. Your reputation determines your worth,
of course.
and your relationships
Yeah.
are the cause to your success.
100%.
So what are relationships? Well, in business, relationships are just prospecting. But people come into prospecting as like this inauthentic thing where they're trying to either ask or take. But prospecting is all about adding value and contribution.
Yes, I love it.
If you believe that. When you believe that, or when you have enough awareness that you have something to contribute, then all you want is to contribute to everybody
Yes.
at no cost.
Yeah.
Usually, when someone's walking around with a platter of like a sample, and you take a sample of it, you follow the platter. You want another one. And then you end up taking some home, and then from there you end up buying the product. Same thing with us, knowledge-based businesses, right? Give them a sample of how good it tastes to have the self-expression, the self-worth, the self-awareness, the self-anything, and let them sit with that. Let them incubate on that in that experience. So, sales, your reputation determines your worth, and relationships are king.
It's so good because it's like that old school thinking of transactional is like gone,
Gone.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No, yeah. And I've never really liked that anyway. Like, I always say, like, only sell what you would buy for someone you love. And choose the person you love to be yourself first. So what would you buy for yourself? So if you're going to spend $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 on yourself, make sure that it aligns with what that type of value is for if you decide to sell that to someone else.
Yeah.
Right? So only sell what you would buy for someone you love. Or think about your mother. What would you buy your mother? If you bought $5,000 worth of something for your mother, right? Only sell that, right? So like all of it is so based in principles and ethics, right? Like keep it moral.
Boom, new sales 101.
But like really what I'm hearing in this conversation, which I know we love because this is like the basis, the foundation of what we're building here, is like that investment in yourself and your personal development
Right.
is
Yeah.
clutch.
This is where I want to like
Clutch.
jump into.
Yeah.
It is absolutely clutch. Is
Love that.
for sure because we've known each other for so long.
Yeah.
And it has been an evolution of our journeys that we've crossed paths. So I know very much you've dived into personal development. So how has personal development helped you in your journey?
Okay. I've been a student of the work for as long as I can remember. But it all really comes down to like 17 years old is where it all popped off. Tony Robbins, Think and Grow Rich. And then The Secret. And The Secret reaffirmed everything I thought I knew. And I've always been gifted with premonition and deja vus and clairvoyance and clairaudience and all these things that I never understood. So I was always psychic. So growing up, it was like I was always a bookworm. Remember Scholastic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Who collected
You
those?
had a membership?
Scholastic book fairs at school.
Book
Yeah.
fairs. You go to the
You
library.
had like a
book
little
fairs.
paper newspaper, you put in your order. Like, that was so good.
So I've been in it, right? I think I was just born like aware, right? So that's where it all really started. And then I guess like the biggest breakthrough, so I've always been a reader. I hung out at Chapters every day for maybe 12 years. I went to Chapters. It was my go-to.
That was the cool spot.
Like Chapters, and I'd sit on the floor and I'd read every day. It was just my thing in school, like even into adulthood. Like it was crazy how much I went to Chapters, right? And then, long story short, between Landmark, Think and Grow Rich, and I would give a lot of credit to Joe Dispenza.
Yeah, he's amazing.
So Landmark, Think and Grow Rich, and Dr. Joe, I became unfucking stoppable with
Yeah.
regards to how I can practice the awareness of worth. So, yeah, it's a lifelong thing, I think, right?
Absolutely.
You know what? I heard, sorry, I just want to say this before we move on, because I heard this on the, did I hear it on the radio? I don't really listen to the radio, but I think I did. It was like, not everyone who reads is a leader, but there aren't any leaders who don't read. Like I
Absolutely.
just thought of that while you're speaking that, because it's like, if you are just naturally inclined to reading, like I feel like that kind of just comes out.
Well, it's an abundance of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And to contain that, it's, you know, you're limiting yourself and your self-expression to what you know, and that's where we're supposed to offer that.
Yeah.
Offer that, and that's your leadership, is to continue offering that knowledge that we know.
Yeah.
I don't finish books. I read a paragraph or a line, and then I get so inspired
Yeah.
that then I create from that, and that's it. Like
That's cool though.
Done.
You know?
Even just now, before the move, I bought maybe like 40 books, and Jess is like, "Why? You're not gonna read them?" I'm like, "I just like having them,
Yeah.
right? I like the
So many
smell
like
of
gifts
them."
in
Oh, I
there.
love that too. There's something nostalgic about the smell of hard, tangible books.
Yes.
And
The
I
paper.
will never like give up buying hard books.
Yeah,
Same
straight up. I'm
Yeah.
planning on opening a book cafe there.
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm gonna open up a little library,
so
like a little
cool.
reading spot. Yeah.
Well, you'll have to share with us so that we'll take midweek pump there and come
Oh, yeah.
visit.
I love that name.
Right?
Midweek Pump.
So I want to dive right back into, I know you've taken this journey of personal development. So how has this really helped you in your professional and your career, your work?
The primary thing is language,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
right? Stellar.
So give us some examples.
This whole conversation, we're speaking distinctions
Yes.
from the jump, and we can speak to each other in distinctions
Yeah.
and totally just get it.
Yeah.
It's like everything we say is inventing the possibility of that which you've become attuned to receive as a possibility that you resonate with.
Absolutely.
Like who says dance in a conversation?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Like who says these things, right? Graduates of certain curriculums, right?
Yep.
And in that, I think that we're fortunate to speak in possibility because we speak in creation. So the dance is I give, you receive, we exchange, and we co-create. In that, that's amazing.
Right.
And then on my album, I have a song called "The Already Always Listening,"
I love it.
right? Which is just me ranting with Werner Erhard about
Nice.
So
Right.
cool.
Love.
about just like the authenticity that comes through from having an already always listening and surrendering to that, and
yeah.
also working through it.
Yes.
So I just feel that in this experience of personal development, communicating your worth or being able to communicate effectively has been like the core principle of all growth.
Cool. Very cool. We do. It's a
Yeah.
language that it unifies you from those who do take on that curriculum, right? So, and the exchange also, to add on, is like you're exchanging a container to create together, and you allow people to be as big as you are to come into that space
Right.
by language
Yeah.
alone, and that's amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say
People-
that. It's like if we're speaking with people that don't have the distinctions, like we're still able to
enable them to
Yes.
step into that,
show up, like you said.
because
exactly.
you're showing up and they show up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
what you've already risen to.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. My ideal client is a Landmark graduate with a desire to earn 5 figures a month.
Yeah, so it's an automatic enrollment, right? So that's
Yeah.
a win client for you, win-win.
I'm gonna put in my Spotify bio like I'm attracted to landmark. Even my new album is like 22 tracks, just full of distinctions.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right? The album's called Doing the Work.
Holy. I love that.
Right?
Very
Like
cool.
the whole album is me working through distinctions to acknowledge and tackle these demons and the self-sabotage and the self-worth, and that's what the whole thing is for. Yeah. So yeah, language.
So what makes Marcos Mendoza? Share us a little bit about really who you are.
I think I did in this entire
I
conversation.
think at the beginning, yeah.
No,
like-
but I want to like go deeper.
Oh.
Yeah, like if we were to go deeper, like Marcos Mendoza is the city I was born in. So Marcos Mendoza is a fictitious
Place.
Yeah, it's a fictitious character created as a stage name. So that guy, like if I was to go deeper, I go into the parts of myself that I loathe, right? And it's like I'm really hard on myself.
Oh,
So, man, like Marcos Mendoza.
How do you balance the, how hard you are with yourself?
I don't. I'm notoriously self-sabotaging. So
Well,
it's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
yeah. I can definitely tell that you have a lot of support around this. Because you wouldn't be here today. You're still giving it, you're still expressive. I think you do have some good support.
Support is available. Whether I choose to receive it
Yeah.
or act on asking for it is different. I'm more of a complainer. So I just vent. And then in that, I'm leaving messes through those complaints. So it's almost like I'm picking up the pieces and cleaning up the mess I made, and in that is the support where it's like, oh, I told you had that available. Like there's this experience where, I don't know, man, like that's a complicated question. Let's just say like I'm proud of myself, but I'm not too happy with myself. So I'm in the experience of working through self-love. I don't actually practice loving myself.
It's literally, that's like a skill, that's something to be developed. And I think that's something that changes ongoingly as you grow too. You gotta like literally put in the work.
I think we have this conversation quite often, Laura and I.
Oh, yeah.
In full transparency, we hang out obviously every day almost, and this is a very frequent conversation that we have. A frequent topic is self-love, because we're constantly battling, how to accept and appreciate and love ourselves as who we are with what the rest of the world is really giving us, right? Because we're receiving it. So it's a constant battle of like accepting ourselves to what we're taking in. That's having us kind of trick ourselves.
And I think like what you pointed to about the whole like being in communication and language is like, for me anyway, that's what I find has me just like come out of whatever it is I'm dealing with. Because there's days I'm like absolutely obsessed with myself, and then there's days I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what is all this for? Like, it's just that like up and down. But then I just talk to people about it. Like I share, I cry it out, whatever, and then I'm like, okay,
yeah, so
empowered again.
Yeah, so that's the empowerment
Yeah.
piece is, you got to express it, you got to communicate, you just have to have conversation. I'm interested to know, how does personal development look like in an artist's life, right? So you're quite a multi-talented artist. So what does this look like maybe on a day-to-day or from a month-to-month,
Yeah. So the rituals are a lot of writing. So, man, like, I'm not the example. I'm, how can I say this? Like,
Well, we're very honored that you're just being so honest.
100%. This isn't
I'm
like we're not trying
I'm
to like
not-
make people do anything here. This is just
This
like a
is
sharing.
real. This is real.
This is just like a sharing.
And this is an evolution, right? This is an evolution
Yeah.
of the human experience to what we're all going through. So we can evolve to a certain level, and then we can come to a phase of our lives. This is what I believe, that we're still evolving because we're learning to another layer of
Yeah.
what we need to grow from.
yeah, it catch me in phases. Well, one phase I'll be on a heavy metal detox or a liver cleanse,
Yeah.
celery juice, smoothies, no gluten, no dairy, no meat, no nothing, while exercising 5 days a week, meditating, yoga, journaling, and sleeping. And then you'll find me in the opposite spectrum of that, which is
Cigarettes for breakfast.
yeah, like coffee and aggression and like just like scarcity and all this stuff that is like just like very just like matrix thinking, you know, which is like super self-sabotaging. So, and I know we all go through, you know, but for me it's like I have this like image of myself and I'm not living into the image of that, so then I just get hard on myself about it. So as an artist, it's almost like, and this is the beauty and the mess of the artist, is the reputation is the more I can self-sabotage, the more I can hurt myself, the more beautiful my art will be. Right? And for some stupid reason, I believe that. So, welcome to my life. Right? It's like, why do I play the piano so nostalgic? Because I'm sad. Why am I so sad? Because I'm angry. Why am I so angry? Because I'm disappointed. So I play it out through my feelings. Right? Why are my tracks so lyrical and intricate? Because I'm working through getting the attention to help receive the validation we spoke of, so that I can get the acknowledgement that I'm onto something here. So then there's that. So then there's all this stuff, right? So it's like, just Marcos, be still and just chill. You know, I'm working to that.
Okay.
I love it.
Got it. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And in the time being, there is a beautiful mess.
Totally.
I've acknowledged. I totally get it, and it's like there's a beautiful mess here, you know, but and
it, you know, we're continuing to evolve.
Yeah.
So what are 3, I guess, takeaways you would share that have really helped you with learning personal development and, you know, any of the practices that you've taken on through the years?
First thing that comes through is breath work.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Breath work is a game changer.
I think it's so underrated.
It is.
It's so underrated how much breath work can provide, like, so much for you.
Yeah.
I do breath work every day, maybe for the past like year and 9 months, like since the pandemic
Every
started.
day. Good.
Breath work. Boom. Marie Bodine. She's my breathwork facilitator. She's my teacher. Oh man, like every time those fears, those paranoias, those worries, those concerns, those resets are needed, boom, headphones.
Okay.
And she just walks me through the scientific impact of what this breath work is doing.
Oh, so cool.
Which is when you're backing up action with science related to healing, you then start to believe. So you breathe deeper because you believe that what's happening in your body is scientifically proven to work. So you're like, fuck yeah, after this session, I'm gonna feel fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? So breath work 1.
Okay.
2, language.
Yeah.
Right? Like working through the communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learning to communicate what's in your space and then unpacking it, right? And having these open discussions, right? So language for personal development. And then the third thing I would say, personal development for me, 3 things: breathwork, language, and what's coming through is just self-awareness. Self-awareness to just have that open, vulnerable, raw, transparent look at yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you're choosing to work on an area in your life, and you're looking at this arsenal of tools available to help you improve, it is only through self-awareness that you'll be able to make a conscious choice of what's actually good for you, what you desire, what you're called to, what you're pulled towards. So self-awareness is there. Somebody asked me yesterday, like, what's the beginning of spirituality? I said self-awareness.
Yeah.
Right? He said something else. But yeah, that's what I would say. Breathwork, language, and self-awareness.
Love it.
I have another really important question for you. How many hats do you own, and are you bringing them to Costa Rica?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Are you literally envisioning that?
12,
This is so funny.
13, 14, 15, 16.
I don't know if I could actually.
I have
remember
16
them
that I'm bringing to Costa Rica.
Wow.
all. 16. Nice.
And I have 7 there waiting for me from that I left. And I'm on the way. Right after here, I'm going to go get my next hat
That's so sick.
that I ordered. I'm literally like late. Thanks. I have to go pick up my next hat, custom made.
Man can't be late for his hat appointment, okay?
No, like,
It's a custom hat.
it's beautiful.
It's my second custom hat, and it's a hat devoted to my wedding vows. So I'm gonna wear it at the
I
wedding.
love that.
Yeah. So I got it like.
Don't you
in
feel
some-
special that he's wearing it for us right now?
I'm not.
No,
No, I'm gonna
the
go
one-
pick it up.
I mean, but this is like your first custom hat.
Not this one.
Not
Oh,
this-
I
but the
Like
one-
after this
misunderstood, I
meeting,
misunderstood.
I'm gonna go
Got
pick
it.
it up. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go make it actually. They make it for
That's
you.
so cool.
They're
Wow,
hat
you get to
makers.
be
yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Like
That
they,
is so
they get the
cool.
fabric and then they make it. It's
That
amazing.
is really, really
Yeah,
cool.
shout out Coup d'etat. Yeah.
Wicked.
Coup d'etat.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah,
I
no,
love that.
It's so you. I don't even like when I see you without
The hats are an extension of my character.
Yeah.
Yes.
So depending on the hat I'm wearing is very much dependent on the mood.
What's your mood right now?
Today was like, I'm not wearing a hoodie, you know. I have my sleeve rolled up, you know. It's very like, today was like a, what's the word, like kind of like a modern hipster
Yeah,
look
yeah,
I wanted to go
I'm
for.
getting that vibe.
Like I'm being interviewed. I wanted to show off my tattoo, you know. Like I'm like, again, not wearing a hoodie. So I was like, today I'm cool, casual, confident,
Yeah.
you know, grateful.
You had a deja vu that we'd be like, this is the scene, and you coordinated with us.
Something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I have to say that it is a pretty badass tattoo that I'm
Yeah,
seeing right
it's
now.
nice.
It's redonkulous.
That is actually very good detailed work.
It's beautiful.
Look how amazing it is.
Yeah, I feel like I could
And it
play that
describes you
piano.
perfectly.
Right? It's me.
Absolutely. That is you.
That is
That
you.
is
The hat.
in one picture.
The piano with the beat making, my
Headphones.
headphones, and my journal.
Book, I love
Amazing.
it.
Right?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So last question, very last question before we let you get onto your beautiful hat. What's the first thing you're gonna do
Oh,
when
yeah.
you arrive in Costa Rica?
Beach.
Beach.
Straight.
Just dive right into that water, eh? Oh my god.
You know, there's a desire to get there because it's the most stunning sunsets. Like there's a cotton candy sunset there. So what I'm very much looking forward to is experiencing the colors of the sky. And it never fails. I don't know if you
Yeah,
experienced it,
yeah,
but
definitely.
it never fails. The colors are just stunning.
Even it's crazy because like in videos or in pictures when I see people posting from there, it's so brilliant and beautiful there, and I know they don't do justice for
No,
like
it
how you're
doesn't.
even there. So I can just imagine it.
It's lovely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really
awesome.
nice. Yeah.
So the beach.
The
Put
beach.
those feet in the sand.
And I hate
be there.
sand. I hate the beach.
Uh-huh.
So here's the irony:
Yeah.
is I've always been like a boot wearing modern. Like I wear Timberlands to the beach. Like I
Yeah.
grew up wearing like boots to the beach.
Yeah.
Like I was always the weird guy that always wanted to be in fashion. You know, growing up, I wanted to always be looking good. Growing up,
Yeah.
like it was weird. And then I carried that into my adulthood, where it was like, oh, sand, dirt, oh, I gotta clean, or like. So living in Costa Rica this past winter, I was like, I really owned it, and I was like, okay, sandals.
I could get used to this.
I can't get used to it, but okay, I'll try. Sandals.
Sandals.
Right? Sandals.
try. Let
me ease
Shorts.
into it.
It's like, how do I have this thing, like, how do I look good wearing nothing? Like, shorts, like, you know, like, it's kind of like
I
putting me into
know.
a position
I
where I have to
totally get-
sculpt my
I
body
totally
so I
get
could
that.
just be like, you know,
Naked.
shirtless and like fit and be like still looking good. I have this thing with looking good.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Which is another distinction. Like, where does that come from?
Uh-huh.
Right? I've never unpacked that.
Okay.
That's coming through right now.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I invite you to unpack that
Yeah.
one.
That'll be a good one. The looking good.
Yeah. I think you might need to really live into Costa Rica life.
100%.
So good.
That's going to be a part of my journey, 100%.
Yeah.
Because it's
It's
like
gonna face you. It's gonna come knocking on
going to
you.
hit so hard.
Yeah.
When I see my future self, like in my meditations, he's a G. He's a G. So, you know, nice wide brimmed hat, beautiful beard, like wearing like this like fabric that's like over the shoulder,
Oh my God,
ripped,
I love you.
Oh my gosh.
shorts, sandals, and he's just like young, rich, and grounded. He's just this like guy full of love, full of life, full of calmness.
Like a Gandhi,
You know,
modern day
like a
Gandhi.
modern day
The
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
That's totally what I envisioned in that
Exactly.
in that explanation.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
All right. Well, we're excited to meet the modern day Gandhi. So we wish you well
Thank
in your
you.
adventure to Costa Rica with your family. And please keep in touch.
Yeah, we will
and,
be in touch,
and thank
for
you,
sure.
Marcos, for your time,
Thank
for
you.
your energy, for your vibe, for your teachings today. I'm just like,
For being
I'm
authentic
grateful.
and
We're
real.
honored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm honored. I feel so grounded in my exceptionalism, right? Like I feel like I contributed really well,
Absolutely.
Always.
right?
We
Like
always do. When we express and we communicate, we're always contributing.
yeah, it's such an honor. Midweek pump.
Midweek
you.
pump.
Midweek pump.
Love you.
Love you guys. Thank you. Peace.
I don't know about you, but that conversation was like pure juice.
It was juice. It was juice because it was real. Like
It was so
authentic.
real.
You know, we had our guests be vulnerable. Hey, there's not many people who will step into a camera to like an audience and publicly just
share
be
like
like
that.
vulnerable and get like
Yeah.
shifts and even like just have a breakthrough in the moment.
Yeah.
So that's when you know you're really taking on self-awareness because
Yeah.
you're intentional about what you're realizing.
Yeah, and you know what I love about something that you shared was about how he loves reading, and he doesn't necessarily even start and finish books. He just kind of like takes on a paragraph or a line and gets deep with it, and it creates from there. I think that was a really cool tip.
Yeah.
You know, just like,
because he's taking his own uniqueness from, you know, the knowledge that he's learning and just creating from that as well.
Yeah, so good.
little bits, and yeah, that was deep. Along with, you know, the major takeaway that I constantly practice as well for myself is communication.
sure,
Right?
it's huge.
Communication is so key for us to understand who we are and our existence in humanity is by speaking, right?
Yeah.
Language. Communication really validates what we understand about ourselves and what we understand about each other.
Yeah, I
So-
love it. And like not keeping all that in your head and just like
No.
being open and honest. I love that.
Fully self-expressed. That's your takeaway.
You have to pump it up, don't you know?